Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying productive? At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, has been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. Trello keeps everyone on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges, and Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and fun. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com.
Scarpins Avenue.
Dan and Ran and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arn and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits, we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population you. Population Leo and Man. Amiee Mann, Ted Leo, two wonderful friends of ours who have an amazing podcast that we'll talk about later. We just did it called The Art of the Process.
The Art of Process.
Art of Process.
Yeah, nice.
The Art of Process. Yeah. The Art of Losing Articles in the title of your podcast. That's right. We just did it. It's fantastic. We just did it. It's amazing. But these two wonderful people are not just incredible musicians that inspire us and we love and we look up to, but they're very funny people who participate in the live version of this show.
Oh, that was so
at
wonderful.
Largo, you guys were just put your own spin on it. Had fun with it.
That's what you got to do.
It is what you got to do. Are you amazed at how dumb the world has become?
I mean, hasn't it always been this dumb? And then but dumb is rising to the top like a weird type of gross cream.
Yeah, this is the eternal question. My thing is, my attitude is it's never been a more acceptable time to be dumb.
Yeah,
that's fair. That you can be as loud and dumb. You could walk in and people are like, did you hear about this huge national tragedy or whatever?
No,
like, no, I missed it at all. Whereas like, in 1986, if you didn't know that the Challenger had exploded, people were like, what's wrong with you? You would, but now it's like, oh yeah,
don't have to.
I just watch yarn videos. I missed the news. Like that's okay. That's cool.
Yarn videos.
I don't know what a yarn video is.
But you know there is one. There's a series.
Yarn porn. As you guys know, because you both have done the show, our great fans send us in these unbelievable stories, and we just try and break them down to try and understand the dumb and make fun of it. That's our weapon, guys.
You help us navigate.
We've been weaponized with comedy. Let's navigate the dumb. So Dan's got a great story.
You want to do one?
Let's jump in. We got the guys here.
Sent in by Derek Shipley at Derek Shipley. Derek sends in a lot of stuff, and I appreciate it. That's he does that, and you can too by going on Twitter and doing hashtag DumbPeopleTown at Daniel Van Kirk.
Superb.
And sending me a story where children and animals don't get hurt and nobody dies and people don't have mental illness. They're just dumb. Yeah. Okay.
But there we go. There's a huge trough to pick from.
Are you ready for 4 words that we love to hear?
Yeah.
We've got a Greenlee.
Oh, yes.
Did we do a Greenlee with you?
We did not, but I'm familiar with it.
I had several Greenlees in mind.
Oh my God. So the game that I love by the way, someone has tweeted at him recently and showed us the screen grab. And said, have you heard of Dumb People Town? There's a game using your articles. And he's like, a game? That sounds fun. A game is where people play.
The first games. Exactly. Chess came from the Arab world through the Knights Templars.
But it's not even that. That's giving me too much good information. This is explaining something that we already know.
Ted could improvise a Greenlee. Absolutely.
They're fun. You can always help me do one if you want. I have to improvise them. Or it's all him sometimes.
So
never know.
Again, to reset, the game here is: did Dan write it,
or did information, or did Greenlee write it? I remember when we did this live, which should have dropped by now, at Largo with John C. Reilly, and Amy was there as well. And I remember after the first one that was a Greenlee, John was so on tilt. Remember, he was like, I don't even know. I can't think
what
of
are we even doing anymore?
I can't understand anything that's happening.
All right, ready?
Good John C. Reilly.
He'd be very angry if he hears it.
Palm City. A man told deputies he was, quote, too fat to participate in field sobriety exercise, but that didn't get him out of a DUI arrest.
There's too fat to fly. We know about that.
Our joke, of course, was, I don't know if you heard the news, that
terrible joke.
At Sklar Brothers, get it ready.
Don't even do it.
Load
it's
it
not
right
even
now.
worth it.
Shelley Duvall got thrown off of a Southwest Airlines flight because she was too flat.
That's not funny, and it's not fair. All right.
Flat. It's like suddenly it's 1974. We're calling girls flat.
Right in the wake of the
We'll be
Popeye
right back.
movie kind of joke.
We'll be right back on Three's a Crowd right after this.
I'm back on Randy's no longer a Sklar brother.
Byron Allen's Comics Unleashed.
So too fat to fly, we know about that. And then of course this guy's saying too fat to walk.
To do field sobriety tests.
Too fat to do the alphabet backwards? Is that
Roland,
To walk a straight line.
to
Touch your nose.
That may be
I
it.
haven't seen my nose in 25 years.
Rolando Gonzalez was arrested April 5th by Martin County Sheriff's deputies after investigators stopped his van at Southwest
That's all he could
Cornell
fit in was a van.
at Southwest Cornell Avenue and Southwest Martin Highway. Add that to the Dumb People Town walking
Put
tour.
it on the walking tour.
Deputies said the van had traveled 30 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone.
Why are you pulling it over?
Yeah.
And drove slightly off road.
Oh.
That's how hard that car was working. He had it floored.
He had it-
That's how fat this
Be
guy was.
nice.
I don't
sorry.
know. He's too fat to do the
Yeah,
field
but also he's
sobriety.
drunk, so you know he's a liar.
Yeah.
He's not too fat.
He's not too
Right. Deputy said the van traveled 35 miles per hour in a 35 mile per
Go
hour
call
zone
your kids. I'm too fat.
and drove slightly off the road. Off-roading is not what a van is typically used for. Derived from the British word caravan, a van is a medium-sized motor vehicle with a boxy shape and high roof, commonly used for transporting goods or passengers.
That Dan?
Greenlee.
Who wrote
Greenlee.
that? DVK
Feels
or
Greenlee.
Greenlee?
Feels
All right, Amy
Greenlee.
says Greenlee.
Ted.
I'm going to go with Greenlee, yeah.
Okay.
Jay? That's Dan.
I think
Really?
that's Greenlee.
You know- you-
I think
you
it's
could tell-
Greenlee.
you could
I
sniff
can't
it
tell.
out.
I think it sounds so Greenlee that it's actually Dan.
Oh, see, that's how Dan gets in your head.
Yeah.
All right, I'll read them both back to back. Deputies found the van going 35 miles per hour, driving slightly off-road. Off-roading is not what a van is typically used for. Derived from the British word caravan, a van is a medium-sized motor vehicle with a boxy shape and high roof, commonly used for transporting goods or passengers. Who wrote it? DVK or Greenlee? The answer is DVK.
Again, Dan
You know,
is so.
hats off for the skillful ramp
I
into like an
know.
off-roading. It's not commonly. There was like a
Yes.
very
Dan has
maybe
figured
a
out
little
how
too
to...
much skill. Maybe a little too much skill.
Dan, I mean, what you're
And so
basically
you're
doing
saying
is
if you
showing you could get a job at the TC
Palm,
If,
Dan.
the,
I
if
hope.
nothing
If
comes
Greenlee
from
ever
this,
quits,
Damn
Dan,
it.
If the TC Palm offered me a monthly op-ed,
you would do it.
oh,
Dan, you would do it.
yeah,
In a
I would.
heartbeat.
It'd be the most read thing on that in that paper.
The three of us could do it. We'd just take turns. We'd have to do it 4 times a year.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
An op-ed is an optional editorial.
Stop. Sorry.
Gonzalez
Opinion.
smelled of booze. His shorts were urine stained.
No.
And his zipper was open,
Whoa.
which shows effort. He tried. He tried.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm
He
going to
tried.
get it out.
It's
He
like-
made
I'm going
it.
to get it out.
He made it to the door.
I'm going to get it out.
I didn't make it.
Deputies inquired of Gonzalez whether he had any medical issues that impact his ability to walk or balance. So they say, we're doing field sobriety. He says, can't, too fat. They then say, do you have any medical issues that impact your ability to walk or balance?
He says.
Gonzalez said he was disabled and, quote, can't see my feet over my stomach.
All right.
That
Okay.
is
So he's got a legitimate.
You can't see the trees for the forest.
an enlarged stomach is commonly called
No.
a beer belly. Fittingly for Gonzalez, beer belly. Wait. Fitting for Gonzalez, as beer bellies are formed when a person consumes excessive amounts of beer or alcohol. Who wrote that? DVK.
Now you're inside of Amy's
Now
head.
you're
Greenlee.
Dan, you are inside
now I have
Amy's
to
head.
subtract the first one. This is the first one as we've come along in the story.
That's very smart.
God,
Amy Mann talking explanation placement in a Greenlee. She's now about geography.
But,
Article geography.
And then the question you have to ask yourself is, isn't there something else that's going to come that would be a more natural place, like to explain
These are
a beer
all
belly?
wonderful things.
Could have explained a zipper. Could have explained a zipper.
Could have
explained why
the
one
zipper.
needs to look at one's feet to walk.
Yeah, that's true.
Which one doesn't really, but maybe it helps. It helps. I look at the ground when I walk.
You want to look where you're going. You don't want to trip.
Fair. All right.
So I guess my answer is, I think it's Dan.
Okay.
Okay, you're going with me?
Don't be so resigned.
I'm gonna stick with Greenlee on this one.
Yeah, Jay.
I think it's Greenlee.
I think
damn
it's.
it,
I think
you
it's
guys
Dan.
know.
I think it's Dan.
All right.
We're split here.
House divided.
Yeah. House divided.
House
House
Green.
divided cannot see its feet.
There you go. All right, so Amy, you're saying who?
I'm saying you.
Okay, and Ted?
Greenlee.
Greenlee?
I'm saying Dan.
Okay, Randy says me.
And I say Greenlee. I'm with Ted.
Okay, I'm going to read it one more time for you.
It's so fun.
Where was it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Beer belly.
I can't, he says, can't see my feet over my stomach. And a large stomach is commonly called a beer belly. Fitting for Gonzalez, as beer bellies are formed when a person consumes excessive amounts of beer and or alcohol. Who wrote it? If anybody wants to change their mind, you need to do it now.
I'm going to change. I'm going Greenlee.
Whoa. All
Okay.
right.
Going Greenlee.
Three Greenlees, one Dan.
Okay. The person who said what beer bellies are and how they come to be. That was written by DVK.
God, why would you doubt yourself?
Because I
know.
felt that the first one showed too much
skill.
skill and intellect.
Yeah.
And this one was
Two slapdash.
clunky
Yeah.
and
It was
slapdash.
colloquial.
And
Come on,
you
Greenlee.
changed Greenlee's style.
Right.
Oh my
You're too good at this.
We've had
You're
ones.
turning into him.
We've had ones where it was all him. We've had ones where it was all me.
Dan,
right.
that's
You
how
are
Dan really
literally-
messes with you when it's all
Because
Greenlee.
I'll be honest with you, there is a sad feeling in my heart when someone sends me a Greenlee. The story's pretty good, and he does zero overuse
Yeah,
explanation.
you're
and I
like,
was like, what did you even write this
How are we
for?
going to use this? How
Come
dare you?
on. Who knows?
Greenlee.
Why do you think I tune in?
Right. I want to know what a trampoline is.
I want it explained to me.
An enlarged belly, just the whole. You know what? I
know.
gotta say, there's a skill. There's
Your
a.
belly.
Dan is in our heads.
Dan is in our
It's
heads.
deliberately annoying.
Dan, you are a master puppeteer right now. You are working it on every level. This is so
I am
beautiful.
willfully tethered to your sticks and strings.
And have,
It's like the lottery. Like I guarantee you, of all our listeners who've been along for the whole ride, there is not one person. It's like the NCAA tournament. Not one person has got them all.
Right. Well, how about
I will guarantee that.
We've done episodes. Remember Kevin Pollak? We have people who have looked me and thought that they were like, I could tell by what
I got your tell.
Yeah, Joe Coy was like, oh,
I
know.
got you. I saw his eyes.
And
I
they've
know what
all-
he's doing.
None of them have ever been right.
They're all wrong.
Okay. Still, Gonzalez said he walks his dog every day. So he could have done the field sobriety.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Also, I love that. Can you get out for a sec? No, I can't. I have a disability. Okay. What do you do normally? Walk my dog every day.
Come up.
Because drunk people can't avoid bragging.
That's right.
And in that moment, he thought, because they were probably like, so you shouldn't. They probably like, so you shouldn't even be driving? No, I walk my dog every day.
Sir,
like, well, sir, you now bragged your way into a lie.
I don't do it saying the alphabet backwards.
Right. I also like when a drunk person asks you questions that are easy. Like, well, who can stand on one foot? I can, sir.
We all
and
can.
so
Everybody
can she. And so can that guy. See that kid going by?
For
they
how
can do
long? Well, that's not really the issue.
Right. So still, I think it was Ronaldo Gonzalez said he walks his dog every day. Asked whether he could stand on one leg. I swear I forgot that was next. Gonzalez said, quote, no, I'm too fat. He declined to take that portion of the test. Okay. His weight is listed at 400 pounds. but listed. We've all watched sports.
That's pretty big.
Weighing in at.
He's definitely 4.5 spins. Yeah.
420.
His weight is listed at 400 pounds. In other contexts, a Rubenesque physique is celebrated. For example, the British rock bands Queen and Spinal Tap had hit songs titled Fat Bottom Girls, 1978, and Big Bottom, 1984, respectively. The lyrics of the former include, Fat Bottom Girls, you make the rockin' world go round, while the lyrics to the latter include, the bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushin'.
Stop!
That's what I said.
on.
The looser the waistband, the deeper the quicksand.
No.
Or so I've read. Who
No.
wrote that?
No.
DDK or
No.
Greenlee?
I'm really at sea now because
Yeah, exactly,
That's
Ted.
impossible. No one would put that in a news story.
Which is why I am 100% guessing Greenlee.
Me too.
Me too.
100%.
All right,
The
yeah.
fact that it can't happen, it's impossible.
That's
There's
what it
not
is.
a chance.
Take everything you know about the world and throw it out the window. And we're dealing with Greenlee. A window is a small box-shaped thing in a wall.
Now, would you like to tell them what happened in Austin, Texas?
Yeah.
We had someone read a Greenlee to us, and there was lyrics from Nellie's.
Not from Nellie's, from
Cisco's,
Cisco's,
yes,
the thong
thong
song.
song.
She
Yeah.
had
No.
dumps
Yeah.
like a truck.
What?
Right.
Truck,
So for
truck.
the Sklar's,
Can
I'm
you
either-
cover that? Will you guys cover
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely.
For the Sklar's, and for anybody
I
else
want to
who
hear
knows,
Amiee Mann and Ted Leo together
man.
do
Yes.
The thong song. Will you please do it?
A thoughtful thong song.
Will you please?
In the late 90s, I played guitar briefly in a band called the Spinanes. If you remember, Sub Pop band. And we actually broke into a bit of the thong song at one point.
Did the place go
Wow.
crazy?
Gag at one point. No.
No. They were not happy with
Place
it.
was
They weren't
not
happy at all. Yeah.
I would be happy. I would
Place
be
went mild.
had dumps like a truck. What? Just like fucking, just
All right,
emote it.
zip it.
Okay.
I'm saying
Oh,
Greenlee
wait a
all the way.
minute. Is Ted Green?
Are you Greenlee as well?
Why? I'm not going to change horses mid.
No, that's
Yeah.
smart because you're 0
story.
for 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Greenlee never changes his
So
green
the question
stripes.
is, did he do it again? Or did I believe you would know he would do something like this?
That's it.
I'll read it one more time. In other contexts, a Rubenesque physique is celebrated. For example, the British rock bands Queen and Spinal Tap had hit songs titled Fat Bottom Girls, 1978, and Big Bottom, 1984, respectively. The lyrics
Respectively is what did it for me.
The lyrics of the former include Fat Bottom Girls, you make the rockin' world go round, while the lyrics to the latter include the bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushin'.
true.
That's what I said. The looser the waistband, the deeper the quicksand. Or so
I
I've
have
read.
Really one of the best lines ever.
So
Or so I have read.
Yeah.
Right.
In a publication.
Right. Penthouse Forum.
Or
The
the
Atla-
TC Pump.
The Atlantic.
All right. The person who wrote the lyrics to the songs Fat Bottom Girls and Big Bottom, while also putting in a little bit about Rubenesque physiques, that was written by Greenlee.
Yes! We all got it.
I can't believe
And you can't believe
That's
that
in a
exists.
newspaper.
Wow.
That's a
I
journalist wrote
can't
that.
believe
He could
it.
have
Believe
talked
it,
about
Amy.
Rubens.
Right. You're right.
You know, he didn't go that route.
Paul or the
I
sandwich.
can't believe that
Is in a newspaper?
can't- It goes on forever.
Ever.
By the way, he could have just done one verse of Fat Bottom Girls. Of Big Bottom.
Right.
No, he had to do two.
Two
That's
verses.
insanity.
And the fact, because he could have just stopped after the bigger the cushion, the sweeter the pushing, but he went deeper
No.
into the looser the
So this
waistband,
now-
the deeper the quicksand.
this
Which is
now
so
really-
much more sexual
So
and
much
so
more
much like
offensive.
more explicit.
Somebody
much
had to be
more
like
offensive.
Will Greenlee had to get like, Will, come in here. We're talking again about your articles.
I think this now more than ever proves my theory that I've always believed all along, that he has 1,000 words to fill.
Yeah.
And most stories
At
are
least.
500, and
Yeah.
he's like, I gotta just do something
God
to
bless
fill it.
him. Meanwhile, deputies arrested Gonzalez on a DUI charge. Gonzalez, who has addresses listed in Stewart and Miami Lakes, was taken to jail. Breath tests measured Gonzalez's blood alcohol content at how much?
Oh,
Would
yeah.
you guys like to take a guess?
I don't know the.
He's
I
400
don't know.
pounds, so
I don't
he's got to have a
know,
lot of
the
alcohol. in
numbers.
him.
You are
So I'll tell
solidly
you,
drunk
point
at 0.2.
0.08 is against the legal limit. You can get a DUI for 0.08.
Oh wait.
0.1 is
bad.
a lot.
0.2
0.2 is a lot. 0.3 is you just poured vodka on the breathalyzer.
Right.
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 So 0.08 is legal limit.
He was convicted, right? He didn't- Okay.
Yep.
So you know it's more than 0.08.
Arrested on a DUI charge.
Okay.
Seems pretty high. Seems like it's got to be pretty high.
He was off-roading.
He peed himself.
His shorts were
There's
urine
pee.
soaked.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to pee.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta be. I'm gonna go 0.12.
By the way, I think off-roading is like what I would call peeing in my pants while I'm driving. I just
we gonna stop at this rest stop?
Nah, I'm gonna off-road it.
That's why we got to invent the road dipe.
There you go.
Road dipe.
Road dipe.
Or traffic dipe. We could call it traffic dipe.
Or a diaper that you can put, like, you don't have to put fully around you, that you can just put to cover that air that will absorb everything. That
Just jam it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Thank you.
0.12, Ted?
0.12.
0.12.
We go higher. Point. Yeah. 1 point.
Point.
Wait.
Point
0.1.
0.1. I don't know.
Pick a number.
0.12 plus.
Just great.
0.18.
0.18. Okay,
that's
so more than twice the legal limit. Jay.
0.15.
Okay.
I think he was 0.2.
Okay.
I really do.
All right. One of you is exactly right.
Oh, so now we get to play the game.
Who do you think is right?
Who do you think is exactly right?
Well, I feel like it's
Have confidence in yourself. I don't want you
Amy,
to go
you-
away from yourself. And
I
not-
mean, I got to pick somebody with more experience.
Okay.
With,
Why?
with
You
being
might be
very,
on it.
very drunk.
0.18 might be
0.18
it.
might be the answer. I was going to.
I don't like what you're looking. I don't like the way you're looking at me right
You're
now.
like the gimlet eye that I've given you. Somebody who's blown into many a DUI tube. So I don't know. Have you ever
Somebody who's been off-roading once or twice.
have you ever gotten pulled over for
Just last summer.
what?
For the first time in my life, yeah. I
Cracking
wasn't
down
drunk,
in Rhode
actually.
Island.
No, I was actually in Jersey.
There you go.
I mean, look, I made my way through a few holes.
Hey, I'm
on the
going
parkway.
down to shore.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
It was late at night. I was trying to get somewhere.
Going down to shore.
I was I'm very nervous. I've never had this happen before.
I also play in a rock and roll band. Damn!
Why am I offering information?
I'm just a singer in a rock and roll.
I walk my dog every day.
Okay.
Who do you think
Amy,
it is?
Who do you think is
I
right?
think Jason's right.
Okay.
All right, what did I say?
Ted, what do you think?
1.5.
I'm going to go with Amy.
Yeah, you say
I
1.8.
think it's 1.8. Yeah.
Jay?
I think it's me.
Okay.
I think it's me.
Okay.
Wait, am I allowed to be happy if it's me, though?
Yes,
Yes,
you
of
can
course
be
you
happy.
can.
Still be
Okay.
happy
All
even though you didn't pick yourself.
Okay.
Breath test measured Gonzalez's blood alcohol content at 0.15.
Wow.
Very good.
0.158 and 0.156 to be specific. That's more than twice the legal limit. The fun thing about Greenleaf's is they also have links to other stories that he has written, and they just give you the headline. I'll read the two of those, and then we will leave this first story that has been so much fun.
So much fun.
When you read the article, it says more, and then there's like a title of it, and you can
I
click
know
to
it.
Test.
I know
This
it.
one is, there's two of them, and they're both great.
They're
One
doozies.
is more. Squeegee flap prompts machete attack.
No.
Why?
Hey,
and how?
you brought a squeegee to a machete fight?
You lose.
Yep. And one more. More. Man driving with pants down said he was, quote, working out.
Isometrics.
Maybe on someone.
I think he meant to.
He's working something out.
Yeah, I was going to say working it out. If you add an it in there.
Or
then
giving it a workout.
There you go.
There you go. Just move your words around and it all makes sense.
Maybe he's doing Kegels.
Tiny
Meagles. Man Kegels.
Man Kegels. All right, there
That's
we go.
story one.
First story down in the books.
Yeah.
Amy Mann, Ted Leo are with us. We're going to talk about their podcast after this and get into more dumbness. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
It's a trying time that challenges all of our basic assumptions. However, one thing that brings us all together is our common humanity. Now, more than ever, teams must come together and work together to solve big challenges. And Trello is here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format. Plus, tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Teams of all shapes and sizes in companies like Google, Fender, and even Costco all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. With Trello, you can work with your team wherever you are, whether it's at home or in an office. No matter what device you're using, computer, tablet, or phone, Trello syncs across all of them, so you can stay up to date on all the things your team cares about. Keep your workflow going from wherever you are with Trello. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com. Working remotely can be a challenge, especially for teams that are new to it. How do you deal with your work environment being the same as home while staying connected and productive? And then there's your newest coworker, the cat. Well, your friends at Trello have been powering remote teams globally for almost a decade. At a time when teams must come together more than ever to solve big challenges, Trello's here to help. Trello, part of Atlassian's collaborative suite, is an app with an easy-to-understand visual format, plus tons of features that make working with your team functional and just plain fun. Trello keeps everyone organized and on the same page, helping teams communicate, focus, and connect. Teams of all shapes and sizes at companies like Google, Fender, Costco, and likely your favorite neighborhood coffee shop all use Trello to collaborate and get work done. Try Trello for free and learn more at Trello.com. That's Trello.com. Trello.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We have Amiee Mann and Ted Leo. They have a great new podcast that you should immediately subscribe to.
The Art of Process, and you guys talk to many different people, I'm assuming from the music world and comedy world and all over, just you're curious people yourselves.
How do we create?
Yeah, and more sort of nuts and bolts kind of stuff. Like, what's the actual process people use,
We don't pretend that the lightning bolt doesn't sometimes hit, but for most people who actually are trying to work in, the arts broadly, there's so much more time spent figuring out.
If you've done it for a long enough time, you do sort of say, all right, I do have to get to work. I have to gather my, it's so funny. Patton Oswalt, I don't know if you guys have had him on the show, but I remember one time he had just finished a special and I was like, so you're going to go out on the road? He's like, no, I got to go. I'm not doing stand up for 6 months. I have to go live my life. And then out of that will come, that's his process. Out of that will come my next chunk of material.
You guys said it well on your podcast, which is that if you're a genius and the ideas just flow through you and whatever, and it just comes from a source you don't know, I don't really want to talk to you. You're not right for this show because the show is like, how do you scrape it out? What do you do that could be something that I could glean that could help me figure out?
Yeah, there's work and practice and and just showing up and imitation was a thing we talk about a lot. You know, like when people start out and they start imitating certain things, and then it kind of they become an amalgamation of their influences. But that's that's an important part of it.
Can I ask you both who you guys started out saying, oh, I want to be like this, or what inspired each of you to like a person or band or something that, or maybe it wasn't even that, maybe it was a different artist inspired you guys?
I probably had like a combination of Dylan and Bowie and Springsteen. I would say those are the guys that I wanted to be.
Storytelling of Springsteen, when I think of lyrics, just again, wasn't afraid to tell a very deep story. Was that what hit you, or no?
I think just Dylan had a facility with words. Yeah. Bowie was just kind of fascinating and interesting and stylish, and his voice was great.
So good.
And Springsteen just had I don't know that
it's like an authenticity.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the rock star. He was like the relatable rock star that just seemed like cool and. Cool in a way, like confidence. Yeah. How confidence is cool.
And he could also sing sad songs, but also have fun on stage.
Yeah.
There was that when you watched him and you were like, oh, he's going deep, but then he's also having fun with his band. And
And of course, none of that is really, I don't think you could see any of that.
I see that in what you do.
Maybe the lyrics, because I do love words. I just love putting words together.
You never listen to one of your songs and go, Springsteen rip. But if you start to tease it out, yes.
Darkness in the center of town.
What about you?
Wow.
For me, I think, something that we talked about with Randy and Jason about a comedic motivation being involved in a scene, and wanting to just be in there with your peers. Mm-hmm. I think initially for me, though, I'd been into a lot of different music. When I first started playing and writing, it was in the punk scene and the hardcore scene in New York, and it was very peer oriented. Yeah. It was really joyful to be in a scene, everybody kind of bouncing ideas and sharing band members, et cetera. And so that was a big motivator. But then, as far as what I was reaching for, I think it would be the people who were 5 or 10 years older than me, who sort of their songs were more of a high tide that was meant to raise the ships, as opposed to just wallowing on the docks where I've been most of the time. English bands like the Clash and the Jam, kind of going back to other primary sources that I was into, 60s R&B and British Invasion stuff, and infusing that with punk, and then also kind of American punk bands who were doing a little more of an adult political thing, like the Minutemen, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's so funny. Do people, when they hear your music, think that if they've never heard you speak before, think that you're British? Because there is a very, I get that feel from what you do.
That has not happened, but more than once someone will say to me, you have such a deep speaking voice.
Because your singing voice is so, I know.
Pull it up the register.
Well, let me say this to our fans. If you have not heard the full gamut of both these guys, individual stuff, and you have stuff together.
Oh,
yeah.
The both. You can't help me now on the both.
Thanks.
Milwaukee.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite songs that either of you do, and you do it together.
You can't help me now. It's like, I'll go for a drive alone. Listen to this
Thank you.
It's time for Daddy to have some daddy time.
No, but it is cool that you guys have found a way to merge your two styles into a band that actually works, and as a part of a team, a duo. I like to hear that.
we cemented it in the womb. You guys individually created what you do, and then
brought it together,
and do it so well on the podcast too. You guys are so good on the podcast.
I love throwing ideas back and forth. I just think it's so you work better together, and also, honestly, it's half as much work. Because you can
share the load. You can share the load.
If you bring a thought in and an idea, there's like a cushion there where I haven't figured this out yet, but the second you say it to him and he's like, ooh, I got this.
Yeah, you don't have to agonize, because there are some songs where you come up with a thing and you're like, oh, I don't know where to take this. And it's nice to know that you can skip that agony part and hand it off and see what somebody else
and he may not have the answer, but he could get you to where you need to go. It's fun. I think the same way with Dan too, like the three of us together. Again, we are an established thing already and unit, but I love how the three of us fit together on this show too is like such a wonderful symbiosis.
Writing a song as a collaboration is I think one of the most fun things about the way that we work in writing is truly treating it like a puzzle. There's enough, I think, forgive me if I'm overstating this, but there's enough like mutual respect and, shared sensibility of certain things that, we early in the process of working together I had to get over a couple of ego hurdles, but like once you can kind of push that out and realize that the kicking back and forth and the punching up and everything is really, there's a puzzle to be solved here. Sure. You're only working in service of making this thing better or the best that you can make it. It's fun.
And I like getting in somebody else's head too. Yeah. I mean, I like going like, what, when soaking up Ted Leo, like Ted Leoism, what does that feel like? What does that
soaking
look
up
like?
Ted Leo.
It feels drunk in New Jersey. All right, let's take it back to another story, shall we, Dan?
Right, ready?
Love it. Yeah.
This was sent in by Nick Bowes, Bowes, at Chef Nick 80.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm sure he listens to this while he's cooking.
I'd love to try his food. Okay. Grand Haven.
He's a chef at a Chipotle.
Great. I love Chipotle.
Good,
I know you do, Dan.
Grand Haven, Michigan. A man now living in Indiana. So
he's not allowed in a whole state.
Right.
Well, you live here now.
Not an Indiana man. A man now living in Indiana.
That says so much
begs
about
the question, what happened? What'd you
But
do?
not bad enough to make him move to California. No. It's like 90 miles down the
He's
road.
one state away.
Grand Haven, Michigan. A man now living in Indiana is suing his parents after he says they destroyed his porn collection.
Well,
You know what? Everybody has a line.
That's right.
And sometimes relationships do deserve to be burned.
That's right. Don't you cross that.
Fox 17 is choosing to identify the plaintiff in this story as Charlie, as the civil case without any, as this is a
the
civil
enemy
case.
from Vietnam?
The enemy of the state.
Or the chocolate factory, which is probably one of the porns that he owned. It sounds like I pre-planned that joke. I did not. We
Or
walked backwards into that, which is also a plot point from the movie. Did not plan on that either. I'm learning jokes as I say the setup.
We walk backwards into the chocolate factory.
The Oompa Loompa numbers.
They're called Loompa Oompas.
They're choosing to identify the plaintiff in this story as
Come
Charlie.
on me,
Nope.
and you'll see.
In a world of pure ejaculation. Okay. This is a civil case without any associated criminal charges, so they don't want to give the guy's name. The case dates back to October 2016.
I think we all
He's still
remember
not
where we
over
were.
it.
We all know where we were when
Barack was around.
Yeah.
The case dates back to October 2016, which was also a good time of year if you're a Cubs fan. According to a lawsuit filed this week, Charlie moved into his parents' home in Grand Haven after going through a divorce from his wife.
Okay.
Maybe it's because of the porn collection.
Charlie apparently stayed for 10 months in their home doing housework in lieu of paying rent. That's a lot of housework.
I bet he didn't do much housework.
I bet he did.
I mean,
That's a fair assumption.
let's be real.
Let me ask you this, Mom.
Pretty dusty
Are my
shell.
socks still in the living room?
Yeah.
Who cleaned up my socks?
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
That was work I did in this house.
You know what he said a lot to his
Yeah.
parents? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Right. You guys are lucky I'm here with that completely unfounded
Yeah.
reasoning. You guys are lucky I'm here. That door was locked and I unlocked it.
He must have said a lot of are you done in that room yet? Don't come in here.
Yeah, no, just cleaning something.
Doing my housework.
Mom, I have a collection.
polishing it something in here.
It's a bad post.
At Sklar
It's
Brothers.
a bad post.
He was there for 10 months doing housework in lieu of payment. He was asked to leave after police had to be called to the house in August 2017 for a domestic situation.
Yeah.
So that would be 10 months.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
His parents allegedly traveled to, yes, they did. His parents allegedly traveled in November 2017 to his new place. They either went there or they didn't go there, in Indiana to drop off possessions he had left at their home.
Okay.
Allegedly, these people really don't want to get sued, whoever wrote this. Allegedly, missing from the items they brought, Charlie's massive pornography collection.
Massive.
Yeah. That's what he calls it.
Massive.
NASA.
I
By the
measured
way,
it.
he couldn't have put that in a storage space. You had to bring that into Mom and Dad's house.
Charlie says his parents told them Charlie says his parents told them they destroyed his entire collection, a collection that consisted of over 12 moving boxes full of movies.
Whoa.
The Ottawa County.
I mean, I know
This
exactly. I know
guy.
people who collect records, and they've got like
Jesus
10,000 records.
Christ.
I'm like, can you enjoy 10,000 records? You
Also,
can't.
dude,
No.
get a fucking
What did Biggie say?
Computer?
account?
yes.
What did
Call
Biggie
me
say?
Catch the net, bro.
That's right. There's your 12 boxes in one little box.
Well, what is that?
Biggie said, "Mo money shots, mo problems."
What is that woman who's like trying to clear the clutter? She's like, if you haven't put it on in a year
Yeah.
and it doesn't
Doesn't
bring you
bring
joy,
joy.
It's not sparking joy.
and you haven't come all over it,
Right.
you got to get rid of it.
Get rid of it. The Ottawa County Sheriff's Office was eventually called about the destroyed items. Charlie filed a police report estimating the value of his collection to be how much?
Oh, wow.
How much
12
do
moving
you guys
boxes.
think
Movies.
he said
He's
his
estimating
porn
it.
collection
Remember,
is worth?
if
Yeah.
he's suing, he's going to estimate high.
Okay, remember,
Wait,
he's
do
calling
we-
his porn collection massive.
Do we think that he's actually like some kind of there's vintage,
I don't know.
like original?
He's an asshole.
Yeah,
That's right.
He's a
Thank you.
vintage asshole.
Hey, you know you are a guest. You can go first, tig, third, or fourth, wherever you want to go.
In this thing.
It's up to you. If you don't want to go first, you don't have to. You can go
$250,000.
Oh my God.
$250,000.
He's
I know.
he's
Yes.
got some really
He's
inflated
overpriced. Okay,
ideas
right.
about.
He's bringing a
And dolls.
lawsuit.
He's a narcissist.
Yeah, and then he's aiming high.
Okay.
no
What do you
pun
think?
intended.
Oh,
Come on.
Come on.
Stop.
sure.
Oh boy! All right, I'm gonna go with. I kind of want to land in this same spot, but I'll say 275.
Okay.
$275,000.
Yeah.
Jason,
I'm going to say $25,000.
Okay.
I'm going to say $62,000.
Okay.
This guy's aiming high.
Yeah.
It's definitely
12
He
moving boxes is
estimated
a
the
lot.
value of his. He estimated in the police report. It was estimated which would be him. Estimated the value of his collection to be $28,000. I know, $940,000. Yes.
It's, by the way, it's still a lot.
I'll take it. $28,000 is still too much.
Hold on. $28,940, and this is where the asshole part comes in, and 72 cents.
No.
Why?
He estimated it to that. So he calculated it all up.
He wanted
so he
it
had
to
a
seem real.
calculation.
Yeah.
I just figured this guy would go way high just because he's really trying to screw his parents over.
For
Which is another
$29,000,
video in that
I'd much
collection.
prefer just never having to discuss it with my parents. Just pretend it never existed.
The prosecutor's office declined to file charges against his parents. They were like, no, we're not doing this.
Nope.
I mean, the crazy thing is his parents could have charged him $2,900 for rent per month.
Right.
For 10 months, and there you go.
There you go. Then you're at it.
Just a month after filing a police report, Charlie apparently began corresponding with his father via email, which is already...
I only talked to my father.
Guys, you're done. You're done. Your father decided we're only talking via email.
You're done.
I have more email conversations with Amazon, telling him in part, quote, if you had a problem with my belongings, you should have stated that at the time, and I would have gone elsewhere. And, like he had somewhere else
This
to go.
guy thinks he can set terms.
Right.
This is not your house.
You
It
moved
is
back
not your
home.
house.
I am really just
I'm
surprised.
setting the terms.
I'm surprised that this guy got divorced. I'm sorry. It
it's
seems like a
shock.
walk in the park.
He's very reasonable.
Instead, you chose to keep quiet and behave vindictively. His father, according to the lawsuit, responded, quote,
Fuck you.
This is what I want to hear.
I would have done the same if I had found a kilo of crack cocaine.
Yep.
Someday, I hope you will understand.
Wow. And he's saying I would have saved you, is what he's saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Also,
what?
he's saying a gram
That's what a
would be
parent
fine.
does.
So I think this
Graham?
goes back to the divorce because this has like a sex addict kind
Yes.
of thing.
Could be,
like,
could be.
You know,
He's like, I maybe can open the door for you to meet someone new.
Right, and there's plenty of ways to be sex positive.
Because I
There's
couldn't
plenty of
open
ways
the
to be
door
sex
before because there was
Yeah.
so much porn.
Right?
12 boxes worth.
I just like that if it had been 2 grams of cocaine, his dad would have been like, come on over, let's rekindle this relationship. I found your little gram
A
of cocaine.
kilo of crack. That's what it...
Charlie's father said in one email that his son was allegedly kicked out of high school and college for selling porn to other students.
Whoa.
Okay.
This is his
this guy's
lifestyle.
a big. Yeah,
This
this
is
is a weird. This is a
He
whole.
does have a
I can't believe
collection.
this guy wasn't reported on by Legs McNeil.
Saying in the document, quote, I also warned you at that time, if I ever found pornography in my house again, I would destroy it.
Okay, so
told him,
he did warn.
Yeah.
He told him.
He
Verbal
warned.
contract.
He told him.
You
verbal
know,
contract.
it's
Yep.
like you watch like that movie Some Kind of Wonderful back in the 80s and you're like, yeah, man, what's this guy's dad talking about? Then later you watch it like as a parent or as an older person, you're like, yeah, you shouldn't have spent your college savings on a ring for this girl who doesn't even want you. Like, what are you doing? Earrings. What are you doing?
Earrings?
The dad is right. I'm on
Charlie.
the dad's side.
Apparently feeling the situation unresolved, reached back out to investigators, allegedly sending one officer 44 emails worth of movies he said were destroyed, listing many as valuable out-of-print films, writing, not just out of print, but the entire studio making it dissolved, and that was 20 years ago.
So maybe we're talking like Super 8s and stuff.
We probably are.
Zapruder porn.
Although I would, if you told me that in the adult entertainment industry, production companies fold regularly, I'd be like, yeah, I believe that. Like this also could have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
not in the game anymore.
That company folded. You mean like every other porn company?
Right. The prosecutor's office again declined filing charges. They keep telling him, like, dude,
Like, nope.
Stop.
Dude,
we don't care.
It's not happening.
First of all,
45.
possession's 9/10
Send
of
us
the law.
50 more
You
emails.
took this to your parents' house and left it there.
Yeah,
and
own
he
it.
also told you, I'll
Don't
destroy it
bring
if I
it.
ever
Yeah.
have porn in my house.
Don't bring it.
Right.
You brought it.
But what's
And you didn't do the dishes.
Right.
You didn't do the
And
dishes.
that's how they end every email.
Yeah.
And you still didn't do
That
those
was
dishes.
that was
washing them is not the same as washing them, putting them in the dishwasher, and then running it.
Mm-hmm.
So we've all made
The
mistakes.
officer is like, let me explain something to you. Your email comes in. We see that it is from you.
We
put it in
immediately
the trash.
delete it. That's our process.
We will get out of here on this because Charlie is now suing his parents in damages for how much money?
Porn
do you
collection's
think?
$29K.
See, I went way too
There's
high.
emotional
me too, I
damage,
know.
though, in this.
Yeah, but
as
we
well.
don't know who this
This
guy
is where we'll
is.
close out story number 2.
A lot of emails.
I'm
right?
going 100,000.
100,000.
I'm still going high.
Okay.
He's mad. He thinks he can.
Ted, you can go
extract-
last. You don't have to
I'm
go.
gonna go.
Take.
I'm gonna defer at least one
Okay,
spot.
go ahead, Jay.
Okay.
I'm going to say $50,000.
$50,000 from Jason Scott.
Double it
Ted?
up.
I'm going to go 75,000.
75,000
Yeah.
from Randy.
Triple it.
Okay, so far we have 100,
50 and
50,
70.
and 75.
75.
Ted, what are you feeling?
I'm gonna go 30.
30,000?
Okay.
Okay. So you're saying he wants back basically what he's lost?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not that reasonable.
Oh, wait a minute. Sorry.
He knows.
That's right. Because the collection was almost
28,000.
Yeah, so now he's
Can I
including
Yeah,
can I
of
amend?
course,
All right,
sure.
all right.
Yeah.
40.
Yeah, dude, stick it to him.
Charlie is now suing his parents. And then we will move on to story number 3. Suing his parents for a total of $86,822.
Oh, my God, Amiee Mann.
The high one wins.
The high one wins.
And also, he's asshole-ish about it. $86,822.16.
Dude, screw this guy. Screw this guy so hard.
I want to know
That
the
is
math
another
on
porn.
that. Really
That's another
bad,
one of the
though.
episodes.
Screw this guy so hard.
All right, well, give us a tease on the last one because we got to get wrapping
We have
on
a
this
harmless mystery in Mississippi.
Okay, here we go. This is Mississippi kind of burning.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. We are here with the great Amiee Mann and the great Ted Leo. They have a podcast, like we mentioned before, called The Art of Process. Please check it out as they sort of delve into people's creative processes.
And go see them live. I don't know if you guys have any fun live dates coming up.
We both have separate, we're both touring a little bit this summer separately.
Okay, great. So
He's
go
got
to
dates, I have
amieemann.com.
Yeah, I've got stuff on the East Coast in July, and what are you doing?
Got some Midwest and East Coast stuff in August.
I love it. Okay.
Swingman.com, TedLeo.com.
And go to DanielVanKirk.com to check out all of his live dates. And
I'm
see
on
him.
tour. The East Coast, the Northeast, and the Midwest. Go to DanielVanKirk.com.
Supersclars.com for us. All right, let's jump into this last story.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Sent in by Sleepless_Sama. That is at Sleepless_Sama. S-A-M-A.
My favorite Meg Ryan movie.
Sleepless Sama.
Sleepless Sama.
Sleepless and Selma. It's a mashed Mississippi mystery. Jackson residents were mystified after bowls of mashed potatoes suddenly appeared on their cars, porches, and mailboxes.
This is Close Encounters, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
When it was the thing, the Devil's Tower.
Yeah. Now it's just heaps of mashed potatoes.
Oh, my God. Have you made mashed potatoes recently? I've done it, and it's
Not since
By the way,
Thanksgiving.
that's just the type of thing to really unnerve you.
Yeah.
to see a bowl of mashed
There-
potatoes.
there-
Like a Johnny Appleseed of mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes,
It's
yeah.
absolutely inexplicable. There's no circumstance in which you can imagine.
You could have a
why
bowl
that
of
would
mashed
be there.
potatoes just magically appear.
My
on your-
first thought would be like, what did I do? What did I do to
Who
deserve
did I
it?
upset?
This is
Right.
more than one bowl.
Right.
Around town.
Yeah.
Round town.
Yeah.
Round town bowls.
Yeah.
Downtown.
Jackson residents were mystified at the bowl suddenly appeared on their cars, porches, and mailbox. Jordan Lewis described the Bellhaven neighborhood as a quirky one, with residents decorating road signs and putting Christmas trees in potholes. So this is a fun town.
Yeah,
This is like a fun neighborhood.
Fun time.
Okay,
Fun
so-
time.
Translation: a lot of drunk people.
Potatoes making a little more sense.
Potato.
Edging nearer sense.
Daddy's gonna put this Christmas tree
Yeah.
somewhere.
But the probe into the puzzling potato problem is new even for them. Lewis,
Probe into the
The
puzzling potato problem.
problem.
Get
That
out.
from that other guy's porn collection?
Yeah, that is.
yeah, the puzzling potato problem was part of that deep-rooted collection.
The probe from the puzzling potato problem.
Yeah.
Also hilarious.
I got
Lewis,
probed.
Lewis told WLBT-TV she spotted her first bowl of mashed potatoes on her car's windshield. Quote, I walked outside yesterday morning at 7 a.m. and I got in my car, and that's when I noticed a white bowl on my windshield. It was full of rainwater. I threw it away, and I was grossed out by it, she said. Quote, I thought this is a harmless prank by some kids or college students in the area. Michaela Lynn said she found a bowl of mashed potatoes on her mailbox. She said some of the potato finders have connections to Bellhaven University, a local private Christian university, which may be a clue.
What?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
There's a college in
Potato
town, so
symbol?
they think kids
Those
are
Christians and their mashed potatoes,
into
right?
potato pranks.
Sure.
Well,
Yes.
remember when Jesus? And
You got to put it above your door,
Right. You
Otherwise,
smear
Smear a little,
and then they pass over
then
your
they
house.
know that not to kill your firstborn.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand.
Yep,
We know that
yep,
part of
yep,
the Bible.
yep,
Yes, that's
yep.
the Old Testament.
So far, I've realized some of the victims of the mashed potatoes are actually staff or Bellhaven students or alumni. I feel like there has to be a connection there, Michaela Lynn said. I don't think so. You just live in a college town where everybody either went to or works at or is going to the school.
Cinematically, this feels very Paul Thomas Anderson. I'm sorry.
Surely
Yeah.
this can't be one of those things.
It's a rain of frogs.
Cinematically, it's like crane up and look down at the bowl of mashed potatoes, and it's
Mashed potatoes all over town.
All over town.
Question: hard bowl or takeout bowl?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
White bowl is what we know so far.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
White bowl.
white
Yeah,
bowl.
so that makes me think hard bowl.
Hard bowl.
Because
I mean,
otherwise
if it's
feel
a
like
hard
it's a
bowl.
container.
And also on your windshield,
yeah,
Tilt.
it's tilting.
Yeah.
yeah. There's a tilt to it. It's going to be
is
tilting
it
towards the
stuck
front of the
with
car.
like some kind of that earthquake
Adhesive,
putty?
maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
exactly.
Or, do you call it earthquake putty?
Some people, I hate this.
It's rampant in Mississippi.
Some people were
Also a
thinking
title
maybe
of
the mashed potatoes were poisoned to kill animals. I don't think that.
No
nobody
way.
Would,
I'm sorry, I skipped a line. However, Sebastian Bajernagard, I tried, said some residents feel there's a more sinister message behind the potato than they do the animal thing, noting he almost stepped in a bowl of potatoes Tuesday. But then he just says, I didn't taste it, which definitely means
He tasted it.
He tasted it.
So
I didn't taste it. No one asked you if you tasted it.
I think they're trying to kill animals. I almost stepped in one yesterday. I did not taste it. I didn't taste it.
Whoa.
But this is a
Bastion.
twist.
Bastion.
Because now the potatoes are on the ground.
Yeah.
So
Right.
they're not always in a raised position.
Right. He goes,
Which, by the way, could be like a code phrase for we don't understand what's going on here. Guys, the potatoes are on the ground on this one.
right, I have no idea.
Potatoes
No
are on
rhyme
the
or
ground.
reason.
There's just when the potatoes are on the ground, we just don't have a
like a
clue,
red
guys.
dawn. The potatoes are on the ground.
The potatoes on the ground, guys.
We got spots on the ground. That's a 405.
So this is his full quote. Noting that he almost stepped into a bowl of potatoes on Tuesday. So a bowl of
Stepped in
potatoes
it.
on the ground.
Stepped
Then he
in
goes,
it.
quote, I didn't taste it. I have a 3-second rule, so I didn't touch it. But some people were worried.
So, by the way, if he
This
would have
guy's
dumped them
hilarious.
on the ground, if it was within 3 seconds,
Yes.
he's definitely eating it.
Also-
they're in the bowl.
I know.
He's talking
it's in
about
the bowl.
It's in the
Seconds
bowl.
doesn't even
It's not
kick
on
in
the
until they're on the
ground.
ground.
that's not. It doesn't kick in. But he's saying he would eat a loose potato. Should
On
it
the
fall?
by the way, loose
With it-
potatoes. Another
No,
video
no.
from the collection.
Also, he's saying that if he had watched the person put the potatoes on the ground and could get to them within 3 seconds, he would have eaten
Yeah.
them.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's
he's
right.
giving you what
Yeah.
his window is.
It was not immediately clear if anyone has eaten the potatoes. Guys, Mississippi, chill out about eating the potatoes.
Nobody ate them.
Well, I just want to know. I just
Right.
want to know.
Hi, I'm here. I'm here from the local news station. I just want to know if anyone's eaten these potatoes. 'Cause that makes me think you're the one who put them there.
Yeah, I just want. But did they? And if they did eat them,
Did you see?
did
I'm
they
sorry.
like? Did you like
Did you
what
see
I made?
him?
I mean, did you like?
see
the-
anybody eat
Right.
them?
It was not immediately clear if anyone has eaten the potatoes. News outlets reported residents have not alerted law enforcement. Cops aren't even involved. This is just the news in a
It's just the
weird-ass
news.
neighborhood
This is
with
between us.
potatoes going around that maybe Christian kids are doing, which also makes it even more
I love
bizarre
this.
to
This
me.
is
I
like
like
this
this
is like a
gag.
bump up
Yeah.
of crop circles,
I like
right?
this
Potatoes
guy.
of God.
Leave some
Yeah.
potatoes
That-
around.
That's it. That's our story.
There you go.
I
I
ask
love
all of our townies if you're in
If you
Mississippi,
know-
or if you're the one doing it, send us your potatoes.
Is Ed
We
Ellington
need to
in
find out
Mississippi?
why.
Oh, our buddy Ed Ellington's in Mississippi. And he
Ed
listens to the
Ellington,
show.
if you're listening to this show, get to the
Jackson.
bottom. Get to the
Who
bottom of
the
this.
mashed potato
Thank
bowl.
you.
Do they taste good? Have you tried them?
Taste them. Definitely taste
Yeah.
them.
Taste
is
them.
what we advise.
And go see, subscribe to the Art of Process with Ted Leo and Amiee Mann. Listen to our episode that we did with them. You can start there and move all around. It's a great podcast. Go see them live. You won't regret it. You really, really are going to
Two
love yourself
amazing
at that
artists,
show.
You're
and
too
if they
kind.
ever play together, and then listen to them on the old live episodes of this show if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for doing the show.
Thank you.
Loved having you, and oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down. It's Dumb People Town.
Scarpins Avenue.
A podcast network.